y'all, I'm back in the kitchen, whipping it up, whipping it up. So tonight, I'm gonna be doing some BBQ Jackfruit wraps. It's gonna be banging. Let's get into it. Okay, so I went ahead and cut up my red onions, my peppers. I have every pepper except for green. And then I cut up my jackfruit. So I'm gonna show you what I did. So my jackfruit's in a can like this. And I got it from Wegmans. I drained it first. And then pop open the can. Now when you pull the jackfruit out, it looks like this. You see this top piece right here? Okay, that top piece is usually really hard. So I cut that piece off and I usually toss it. But of course I learned about compost, so I've been talking about it more. But you could always use it, you know, in your compost, or you can toss it like I've been doing. And then you want to be aware of seeds that's inside. There's one right there. Seeds that's inside your jackfruit. So when I'm getting ready to cut it up, sometimes the seeds will pop right out, or I notice it when I'm cutting because I won't be able to cut it. And I just kind of cut my jackfruit up a little bit, move it to the side, and then I do it again. Now sometimes when you get jackfruit, you see a big old seed like this one. This is a really big seed. And when you pop it out, you'll see like the skin of the seed. I put all that to the side. I'm not gonna cook that, but I'll cook the outside of where the seed was, even though it's kind of like round and not the same texture as the rest of the jackfruit. I still just cut it up like the other jackfruit and cook it. Now every once in a while you might get a top piece that's soft. If it's soft, I'll cut it up with the rest of the jackfruit. Like I'll just cut up the whole thing of jackfruit. But if it's hard, I'll cut it off and toss it to the side. Because when you're cooking it, you have to cook it longer. Or if you decide not to cook it longer, then you got this hard piece of jackfruit in your food. And I'm good on that. You can do whatever you like. So see how there's a little piece of top this time? I'll just cut that up because it was only a little piece, so it'll cook faster than if I kept this big old piece. This big piece right here. So I cut that off, toss it, and then I still have the bottom piece left. And I just cut it up. If you run into a seed, you put the seed to the side with the tops. If you don't run into a seed, good. Now, if you do end up putting seeds in the food, it's not gonna be terrible. It is gonna be like very noticeable that it's a seed, of course, because it's not the same texture. It's not gonna taste the same as the rest of the jackfruit. But it ain't like it's gonna kill you or nothing if you eat it. But I'm just gonna keep cutting this up until I'm all done, and then we're gonna put it in the pan, saute it up, add some sauce, add it to the wrap. We're gonna be ready to eat. Okay, so I've already started melting down my butter. You can use oil if you want, but I always use butter, soy-free or salad. And I'm going to start off with a little garlic, mixed garlic. And then I'm going to do my veggies first. I'm gonna let them cook for about a minute or two. just so they can start sauteing up to start getting some flavor before I add the jackfruit in there. Okay, now I'm adding the jackfruit in there. And I'm gonna let this cook for about 10 minutes or so until my jackfruit starts getting a little, you know, some cook on it, some marks on it, some saute burnt on it. You know what I'm talking about. Where it look burnt, but it's not burnt, it's cooked. That's what I'm talking about. The seasonings I'm using today is paprika, Batoni, garlic and Himalayan. So your jackfruit is really bland. So when you season it, you want to go ahead and season it. You don't want to over season it, but you definitely want to, you know, put a little something in there because it has no flavor. You make the flavor for the jackfruit. The jackfruit is very bland. It has no flavor at all. Let it cook. You can cover it if you want. I don't think I'm gonna cover it. We'll see how it goes. If I need to cover it, I will, but I'll probably just let it cook like this. Okay, so this is a non-stick pan. So if you're working with a non-stick pan, you might want to make sure you're watching it closely because it will stick to the pan. But this is what I mean by cooking it. You see how it's starting to darken up? That's why I like it, because I know that it's cooking. I know that it's cooked. So the next thing I'm going to do is add my sauce. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and preheat my oven to 4 because I'm doing a wrap. So if you like your wraps like a soft taco, then you don't gotta do it in the oven. But I like my wraps cooked, so I'm gonna show you what I do. Okay, so I got my spinach and herb wrap, and I'm just going to place my jackfruit mix and a little lime in my wrap. You can put however much you like. I try not to put too much, but I try not to put too little either. You put too much, you can't roll it up. You put too little, all you're doing is eating wrap. And then I'm going to roll from the bottom first, put the sides in, and then finish rolling. My wrap is ripping. Your wrap rip, hey, it's okay, because I'm about to smash anyway, so it don't really matter. But yeah, I just keep doing that. This is how I look. Maybe you could do it without ripping it. Okay, it's just that simple. So I'm gonna show you one more time. Boom, down the middle, straight across. Roll it one time, softly roll the sides in, and then I'm gonna keep rolling until it's a wrap. Ta-da! Okay, y'all, so I put it in the oven for about 10 minutes, maybe 5, just until I clean it up. You don't gotta keep them in there that long, but you can hear the, yeah. And they are hot. I probably would have left them in there a little shorter, but I was so focused on some other stuff. So I'm gonna taste it when it cool off. Hold on. Okay, so it finally cooled down, and I added a little agave on the side just to dip. Short, sweet, to the point, and banging. But yeah, so that was cooking in the kitchen with Jamaica. Cooking in the kitchen with Jamaica. Subscribe, like, try it, respond, tell me, whoa girl, that was banging, or nah sis, you gotta do this and then do that. Let me know. Deuces.